They went into the portal this offseason and added 13 four-star transfers. The rest of the Big 12 combined added 17. And no individual other program in the Big 12 added more than 4. So they more than tripled the big-time transfers that any other team had in the conference.
We are back talking about the Big 12, talking about some of the teams that we think are going to exceed or fail to meet some of the expectations that are set for them with our college football betting expert, Ryan McCrystal. You don't want to miss this show. But before we do that, real quick, we can give you a great deal on all of our NFL futures. The code is SAVE60, and it will save 60% off all of our NFL futures that are up right now at sharpfootballanalysis.com. Look, last year, these futures hit 64%, and a $100 better won over $2,000 following us on our recommendations for the NFL. We've already put one in the bank. As long as Daniel Jones stays healthy, we bet Daniel Jones to be the week 1 starter. Anthony Richardson was favored. We took Daniel Jones as the underdog. He just got announced as the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts this year. You don't want to miss all the other bets that we've got up for you right now over at sharpfootballanalysis.com, and make sure you use code SAVE60 to save 60% off our NFL futures package. But let's bring Ryan McCrystal in right now, and we're going to be talking about the Big 12. I want to start with the team that's the ugly stepdaughter of this division. I don't know, it's the ugly stepchild of this conference, Ryan. We're going to be talking about UCF. They are the least likely team to win this conference. Their odds right now, as I'm looking at, to win this conference are as far as 70-1 to win this conference. No other team is lower odds than that. But they still have a win total of 5.5. And you can bet under 5.5 at plus 100, even money right now over at Hard Rock. Tell us why you like fading the worst team in this conference.
Yeah, I mean, in the Big 12, you never know, because the team picked to finish last year was Arizona State, who went on to make the playoffs. So who knows? UCF might surprise us, but I'm still going to fade them. And it has to do a little bit with the coaching change. Scott Frost is back at UCF. Obviously, he left them at one point in time after leading them to their undefeated season a while back to go back to his alma mater at Nebraska, and it very quickly went sideways for him here. So he's back at UCF where he has had success. Now, I'm not fading Scott Frost in particular. It could work out for him now that he's back in a familiar place and he might get things rolling them there again. What I'm fading here is a transition from Gus Malzahn to Scott Frost. Malzahn runs a unique offense. It's a little air raidy, kind of a spread offense, lots of underneath passes. They create lots of open running lanes because they spread the ball out so much. It's tough to defend the run for them. RJ Harvey, their running back last year, just ran wild in Malzahn's system. It's a great scheme for running backs. But because it's unique, it's hard to transition out of that because he kind of goes after a unique personnel across the board on the offensive side of the ball. And there have been 2 instances before where we've seen Gus Malzahn leave a program where he had been for at least 3 years, where he had been long enough to establish the personnel. Both of those were actually at Auburn, once as the offensive coordinator, and then he came back a while later as the head coach. Both of those initial seasons for somebody replacing Gus Malzahn led to a losing record. At one point, it was a 3-9 record. It really, Auburn really struggled to recover the first time he left. So that's what UCF is now trying to do. Not only did they lose some guys to the NFL like RJ Harvey, but they're trying to transition out of that Gus Malzahn offense and get personnel that fits a more traditional offense that Scott Frost is going to run, more of a downfield passing attack. What we've seen from him last time he was at UCF, we saw a little bit of that. And so, like I said, you never know. The Big 12's wild, and they added 41 transfers, the third most of any team this offseason. So you could argue for that reason that this is maybe one of the riskier win total bets that I'm giving out, because maybe those transfers gel together quickly, but that's hard to do. It's hard to get that many guys on the same page quickly and just build a team from scratch in one offseason. So I'm going to fade UCF. I think they belong at the bottom of the Big 12. I think they'll struggle to get to 6 wins in bowl eligibility. So betting the under on this 5.5 feels pretty safe, about as safe as it's going to get betting an under in the wild Big 12.
And especially even money, plus 100, even money there. That's not a bad price at all to lay for something that you think feels pretty safe. Now, a team that's not projected to win this conference, but is actually the fourth closest odds to winning this conference is Texas Tech. Now, they are behind Kansas State, Arizona State, and Utah in terms of odds to win the Big 12. Their win total is 8.5 wins. Minus 130 is the best number over at FanDuel if you want to bet the over. And this is a bet that you think everybody should go out and make right now. So talk to us about why you like Texas Tech.
Yeah, if Texas Tech doesn't hit this over, their coach is getting fired. Joe McGuire will not survive the offseason if they don't get beyond 8.5 wins. In fact, he might need to get to at least 10 wins to save his job. That's how high expectations are for Texas Tech this season. They have a billionaire donor in Cody Campbell, a former Texas Tech player, and he is trying to be for Texas Tech what Phil Knight, Nike executive, has been for Oregon over the last 30 or so years, trying to completely revamp the program and turn it into a powerhouse. I think he sees an opportunity in the Big 12 with Texas and Oklahoma having recently left for somebody to step up and fill that void. And Texas Tech, the way they operated this offseason, undeniably filled that void. They are the powerhouse big money program in the Big 12. They went into the portal this offseason and added 13 four-star transfers. The rest of the Big 12 combined added 17, and no individual other program in the Big 12 added more than 4. So they more than tripled the big time transfers that any other team had in the conference. They are acting like they are now the new Texas or Oklahoma in the conference, and they expect to have results right away. They also have their quarterback returning. Baron Morton is going to be back at quarterback. That really helps. Obviously, they had a ton of talent on both sides of the ball. Now, it can go sideways sometimes. Florida State had a lot of big transfers last year, and it went very, very wrong for them. So it's possible it doesn't all come together. But given the competition in that conference, I think just putting that much talent, along with having some good returning players, especially a good leader at quarterback like Baron Morton coming back, I'd be surprised if it went the Florida State route of last year. I think it comes together pretty quickly for Texas Tech, and they established themselves as one of the teams to beat and pretty easily clear this 8.5 number.
You can get them as high as 7-1 odds to win the Big 12. Do you think that there's any value in doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a no-brainer to me. They're the favorite in the Big 12. I don't care what Vegas says. I don't know why those numbers are out there. I honestly, I think the reason why the lines haven't shifted enough to them is just that it's Texas Tech. Texas Tech has never won this conference. They've never played in a conference title game before. It was sort of like we've talked about Duke on another episode about how their win total was low because it's Duke and you just don't expect it. That's what it is. If you're not a diehard college football fan following the transfer portal, you're probably unaware still that Texas Tech is operating like Texas or Oklahoma. I think people are going to quickly figure it out, though. They are definitely the most talented team in the Big 12.
Well, there you go. 3 futures to bet from Ryan McCrystal. You got them all right here in the Big 12. We got other conferences covered. Make sure that you're following this channel, Sharp Football Analysis, over on YouTube. We're going to hit you with all other major conference previews, plus some long shots that Ryan likes for the college football futures before we get into the first games of the season. So check them out. Make sure that you use code SAVE60 if you want to get 60% off our NFL futures, and we'll see you soon.